Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Sandeep Pednekar, and you're watching One Universe, the show based on the non-profit One Universe that promotes positivity through the promotion of love, peace, and harmony. And to talk about what good can be done for the citizens of Shelby County, we are here with Dorcas Young Griffin. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you this
Doing
morning?
very, very good, and
Good.
wishing you a very good morning.
Thank you. It's already a great morning.
Yes, it sure is. So please introduce yourself for the benefit of our listeners.
Okay, so I am Dorcas Young Griffin, born and raised Memphian. I went to Idlewild Elementary, Snowden Junior High, and graduated from East High School a lot of years ago. After graduation from high school, I went off to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Graduated from there with a bachelor's in sociology. Then came back here to get my master's in public administration from the University of Memphis. And I'm currently a PhD student at the University of Memphis, getting my PhD
Whoa,
in urban affairs. So
very nice.
my third year as a doctoral student. So super committed to this city. My I was raised here. My family is here. Most of my family is here. I have raised two children here. My husband, I moved him from Nashville here.
Okay.
He came to Memphis from Nashville. You know, that's a big deal.
It is.
It's a
Yeah.
very big deal. And now
Absolutely.
loves it. But just really, really planted, have firm roots in this city, and just love everything that it is. Our challenges, our opportunities, our strengths, everything about this city really is a reflection of who I am and the things that I care about and want to do in this world. And so I'm fully here and committed.
How beautiful. So I know that people talk about Nashville and Memphis just because you
Right.
brought it up.
Yes,
And
yes.
they began almost the same. And
Mhm.
now Nashville has gone up and boomed with a whole lot of progress going on over here. To bring your husband over here, and for him, obviously, he loves you a whole lot more. But why do you think is there this difference, and why hasn't Memphis grown?
So I think it's factual. Memphis and Nashville were at common trajectories at one point, and now Nashville looks a lot different than Memphis. Like in terms of the growth up in its downtown area and throughout the city, they definitely have had a shining moment, a season. I love Nashville. It's a really cool city.
It is.
One of the things that I will tell you is that, Memphis, clearly we have a lot of opportunity to do some of the same things. I will say that I think we have some opportunities to learn from maybe some of the things that they would argue, that Nashvillians would argue maybe weren't considerations as they were growing. One, when you go to Nashville, as amazing as it is, there still is not the same kind of character that you have here in Memphis. Many of the people that are in Nashville are not necessarily from Nashville when you meet people, and that's okay. Like a great city has people that are attracted to it, but it also provides really great opportunities for the people in it. And so I think in Nashville, they have struggled to find a balance for the people who are native Nashvillians to really see the same kind of progress that people maybe from the outside are seeing. And so here in Memphis, we have an opportunity to really think about how do we balance the two. We want to be a great city and grow up and have new people come, but we also want to make sure that we're investing in the talent and the people that we have here and that we're not pushing them to the margins. Um, I'm sure there are a lot of economic theories and historical, political things that happened that maybe shifted how quickly they were able to build up. But again, I think regardless of where we both are at this time, I think there is just so much that we can learn to really make sure that our growth when it happens, because it's going to, when it happens, that we really have a really good balance and don't lose the soul of Memphis.
Right. I believe that every country, every state, and every city has its own culture.
Mm-hmm.
And it is
Absolutely.
developed by the leaders and the people. And I know that Memphis and Shelby County has problems, but I think that problem or problems and issues that we have, I know I look at it as a challenge to overcome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I know it is upon each one of us to overcome these challenges.
Right.
And you, in your position right now, are overcoming quite a few challenges. But before we get into that, tell us how you came to
To Shelby County.
and to this position. Yeah, slow,
You
gradual growth.
know, I am celebrating this year my 16th year with Shelby County government. And I would be lying to you if I told you that I always knew that I wanted to work in government. So just going a little bit into my history. So I am the child of not one, but two Southern preachers,
Mm-hmm.
Southern black preachers, my mama and my daddy. And so, ministry was the family business, for lack of a better word. Like, it's what me and my siblings all grew up in, and our lives were immersed in ministry. One of the things that you will find out from preachers' kids is they either really, really want to be a preacher, or they really, really don't.
Okay.
I was a really, really don't. Like, my dad would be like, "Yeah, one day you're like, no, brother, never, never, never." But what I realize is that those seeds of service, those seeds of supporting people and really wanting people to be their best selves and most peaceful selves, and just to see a world where things are equitable and people are thriving, those seeds were firmly planted in me as a
Hmm.
young person. And so while I went to college and said, "Hey, I want to be a doctor," which after you take a couple of organic chemistry classes, you're like, okay, maybe not. I did find, just kind of working my way through, I really felt like I wanted to work in nonprofits, which led me to get my master's in public administration at the University of Memphis with a concentration in nonprofit management. Went through school, but still wasn't figuring out where I wanted to be. And it was really my mom that said, "Look, you need to get a job. Like, you are just kind of trying to figure it out, but get a job." And so I applied kind of on a whim here to Shelby County government for an entry level position,
Okay.
working with the health department,
Wow.
and working in an HIV program as like a coordinator of the community planning group. And from there, kind of, I figured I would be here a couple of years till I figured myself out. And what happened is I got bitten by the bug of public service.
Okay.
And I found that I really enjoyed what government can do for a community if it is done the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Government is one of those places where, I mean, I've been in church. I love nonprofits. I have some associations with people in the private sector, and I know that those are powerful institutions. But nothing is like government in the way that, if we do it the right way here, if we really are we the people and really thinking about everyone, it is the one institution that really can bring us together, no matter your race, your religion, your just everything about you. We could do it. And so I'm a government idealist, and I think it's just kept me here. And just over the years in Shelby County, from that first job, I have benefited from really great mentors,
Mm-hmm.
people that poured into me, that saw something in me, and gave me opportunities to work on projects that maybe helped to sharpen my leadership skills.
Mm-hmm.
And now, from that position to now, I rose up into appointed positions. And so now I've had the opportunity to be appointed under three different mayors. for leadership positions, and I just, it's really been a really amazing journey, but it's been because other people really poured into me and allowed me the opportunity to show and grow into this role.
So based on the passion that I see, I can definitely say that was a good bug to be bitten by.
The public service bug is a good one. Yes, I encourage anybody. Public service, it
If you
gets
have it in
okay.
you,
Yeah,
then you
you
definitely must. Yes,
do.
and
You do.
yeah, and I understand the feeling because that is where my heart is as well.
Hmm.
So it is the heart and the mind that takes you into on the path,
It
and then
does.
leads you to where you are supposed to be.
Right. Absolutely.
So now, tell us about your current position.
So I am the director of the Division of Community Services here with Shelby County Government. I always tell people, if you imagine that the mayor, my boss, Mayor Lee Harris, if you imagine that Mayor Harris was the president of the United States, I am a cabinet secretary. I'm a cabinet secretary of all things human and social services. And so, really, what that means is we are running and overseeing programs from helping people with renting utilities and basic needs to operating our crime victims and rape crisis center to helping our seniors through the aging commission, running veterans affairs, running various youth programming throughout the county. We run pretrial services for the county, so every adult that's coming through the system, we're providing interviews to really try to get at the root of their risk to public safety and giving that information to decision makers within the judicial system. We help with behavioral health, connecting people to behavioral health resources that are within the county, and just really almost everything else in between. Like even those things that we're not directly responsible for, because we are what we say, we are where human need intersects government. Many times our division is called into conversations where the people and the needs of the people have to be considered in a project, in a plan, in other divisions. So um, yeah, we do a lot in this division. Our budget fluctuates because a lot of what we do, in addition to the actual services, is we are grant funded for a lot of these services. And when you receive a grant, there's a lot of management of that grant that comes along. And so we do a lot of internal grant management, compliance, and reporting just to make sure that those resources are stable and here for the community to be able to use. Um, our budget fluctuates, but we've averaged over the last couple of years about $100 million budget annually, with about anywhere from 250 to 300 employees at a given time. And it's an amazing team to be a part of. I have found my home in community services because, again, all of the things that I was brought up caring about people and what they need to be their best, we are firmly positioned to be able to support those things.
Good, very good. So I obviously have not been an employee of Shelby County, but I still have been associated, and we have had Mayor Mark Luttrell on my show a couple of times.
Yeah.
We have to have Mayor Harris too. But being associated with several of the departments within Shelby County, and also serving on Mayor's Young Professional Council, and I was always grateful and expressed my gratitude in a funny way. And I told Mayor Luttrell that I'm so glad that I am here to be on the council, but I am more grateful that you consider me young.
To be young,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So I'm also associated with the Department of Commerce's. Let me get the, or try to get the name right. National Council for International Visitors.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, as I said, a State Department from Washington, D.C. And what they do is, because of the existing US embassies all over the globe,
Mm-hmm.
they actually not only attempt, but they increase the goodwill between those countries and the US.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ways they do it is that they handpick some people from those countries and those communities and bring them to the US and
Mm-hmm.
let them visit about 6 to 8 cities.
Mm-hmm.
When they come to Memphis, I have been part of that committee that takes them to the Shelby County Mayor's office, to the
Mm-hmm.
city mayor's office, to the um, chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on everybody's background, then we have taken them to the then commercial appeal,
Right.
and maybe if there are artists, so to some theater and all those things, or other businesses. When we have taken them to both the offices, city and county offices, as well as the chamber, the information that is given out to them, and we are there listening to it,
Mm-hmm.
we know, oh my goodness, we have such a beautiful city, a
Yes.
wonderful history, and what is coming is phenomenal. Oh, this is coming, that is happening.
Right.
But the problem is that it doesn't seem to trickle down to the masses.
Right.
What do you think is the reason for that?
I think there's several reasons. I think that there is so much happening to people. I'll speak about here. There are so many pressures that the average person has,
Mm-hmm.
just on their block, not even on their block, in their homes, that it's hard to absorb all of these things that are happening in the city if what you see right around you is not hopeful,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I think that many times, well, one, we have way too many people who are disconnected from opportunity and disconnected from hope in so
Mm-hmm.
many ways that, I mean, hearing about whether a big building is coming or what artists are coming or what someone is drawing,
Mm-hmm.
that's just not, it's not even something that's within the realm of just possibility for someone if you're trying to figure out how do I pay my light bill? How do I make sure that my kids have what
Mm-hmm.
they need to go to school? And so I think one way that we increase the absorption of the good of the city is to make more people see good in their immediate circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
And so that means supporting people to get to a place where they are able to have better jobs, sustain jobs, where their neighborhoods are safe, where when they look outside, the street around them is clean. Like
Mm-hmm.
not just downtown, not just where we're taking people to see,
Mm-hmm.
the beauty of Memphis, but they can see the beauty outside of their window. And so I think, that's one issue
Mm-hmm.
that we have. I think the other thing is, there's always opportunity to um, just do a better job of increasing visibility of the good.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, we may rely sometimes on the networks that we know and that we utilize. But I think for the young people, like I will be really honest, like the way that they communicate news and what they know about their city and what is good and what is hopeful is very different than I did in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Like the use of social media and some of those things for news is just different. And I don't know, at least for the government, I don't know that we in my division are where we need to be to make sure that we're tapping into that. So, you know, I think increasing people's um, immediate good around them will help them see the bigger good.
Mm-hmm.
And also just making sure that how we are communicating good is in more than just the traditional ways,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or just our traditional networks. I think, final thing I'll say, I was thinking about our traditional networks. So it's not just about, the news channel or the paper. I think creating more opportunities for different people to be in different circles really makes a difference in being able to communicate the good of the city. Some of the things that I have learned about the city have not come from the news or social media or any of that, even from work. It's come from dinners at someone else's house that I never would hang with, right? That's not the same religion as me. That's not the same orientation as me. All of these things, but sitting and having a meal and just being in the same circles, I'm learning about things about the city and good that I never would have known had I not stepped out and been in a different circle. So I think creating opportunities where people in this city are able to be with each other in a different way and build relationships helps to amplify the good.
Perfect. You answered it so beautifully. And so that takes me into the next question as we come towards the end, is that how is your offices and the several departments within your department addressing those issues? And you have
yeah.
partially answered it, but still, if you can go slightly in depth.
So, I mentioned one of our premier programs. We are helping people every day keep their lights on. So folks are able to go through an application process, and we are able to put a credit towards their MLGW bill. That is hope for people. It may not seem, when you have enough to pay your own light bill, you don't even realize the pressure that people feel to keep lights on. It's getting cold now.
How many families do you the county helps?
So, I mean, it fluctuates because that is a grant funded program. And so, it's dependent on how much funding we get from the state to do the work. But we're helping upwards of 15 to 20,000 families a year.
Wow.
Yeah,
that is huge. So, I want to say this with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
That people call it Memphis light gas, and
yeah, I've heard that before.
But I want a disclaimer. I serve on MLGW's council.
Okay. So you can't say all of that. Yes.
But the thing is that there are people who are suffering, and their suffering is based on their financial situation.
Right.
I mean, if you have any dues to pay, you are supposed to pay those dues. If you have a car note, if you don't pay the car note, somebody will come.
Right.
The repo man will come and take it away.
Right.
Similarly, that is what is happening. But listening to this amount of 15,000 within the county is, for me, there is a need.
There's a need, and even for every family that we're serving, there's a family that we're not. And so I think that's really important. While the numbers are high that we serve, there are still people that we can't reach. I will say, to MLGW's credit, they have been a wonderful partner over the years to allow us easier access to get payments to them quickly, which is huge. They also have been very open to conversations about how we can proactively alert people to the help that is available through our program, because they know who the people are who need help, right? Even before they come in. And so they've been very helpful with us getting the word out. But the truth is, as you mentioned, not being able to pay your utility bill is a symptom of a deeper issue. The deeper issue of people's income not being at a level where they're able to sustain all of the basics that they need to live. One of the programs that we help with, not as much because we don't have as many funds, but we help thousands of people with rent and mortgage, because we have found, during COVID, the numbers went down of people being evicted. But what has happened is now we have ticked up above pre-COVID numbers in evictions. So people are having a hard time just stably living. And so, what that says to us is that we have got to find ways, even as we're helping people with these basic needs, we have to be tapped in to helping people to find jobs, to find training, to find the things that they need to be able to stabilize and grow their income. Because stuff is getting more expensive for everyone.
True.
And clearly it is going to impact those that have less first and hardest. So, you know, we have a big job ahead of us to
True.
not just help for this moment, but to be thoughtful about how we are really putting people on a path for sustained increase in their income.
Very nice. So, if people want to avail of few of the services
Yes.
that is offered through your department,
Yes.
is there a number they can call?
So the number they can call is 222-3990.
With area code 901.
Area code 901. Yes, we are in the 901. 901-222-3990. That's a main number for our division. But I will also say, you know, if you really want to get deeper into what is offered through the division, it is best to go to the website, the Shelby County website. So you would go to www.shelbycountytn.gov. And we are the Division of Community Services. You go through divisions and community services, and you will see everything that we do there. You can even get links to sign up for some of the applications for programs that we have. There are specific numbers for specific departments. And so I think that's really a great place to start. We're also present on both Facebook and Instagram.
Very nice. Yeah.
For Shelby County Division of Community Services, and regularly put out information, not just about what we're doing, but what our partners are doing as well, because it takes all of us to fully support the folks of Shelby County.
Perfect. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you heard, you have the number, and you can also reach out to us at 901-849-D. That is 849-3337. Or you can write to us at sgp97@hotmail.com. Until next time, have a great time. And when you tune in to our show, know that you are going to hear some people who are making positive impacts and promoting the message of love, peace, and harmony. Thank you so much. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.